Good morning. Welcome to the Dunn Solutions Long-Term Care Patient Engagement Portal webinar. My name is Jeff Gaffney, Director of Sales for Dunn. Also have with me Vamsi Kosaru, Project Manager for Dunn. And before we get started, I'm going to throw it over to our Marketing Manager, Megan, to take care of some housekeeping items. Megan?
Hello, everyone. So just a couple things before we get started. I will be sending out recordings of this presentation within 24 to 48 hours after the completion. Additionally, if you have missed any of our webinars in the past, you can find those at dunsolutions.com. If you have any questions during today's presentation, please feel free to chat those in and we'll address as many as we have time for at the end of the presentation. And if some of those questions are somewhat complex and we need more time to answer, we do promise to follow up with you for those. So I won't take any more of your time. Thank you all. Hope you enjoy the webinar.
All right. Thanks, Megan. I'll take you through first the agenda, what we're going to be talking about today, a brief introduction of Dunn. Promise to keep it brief. There's like 3 slides, I think. And then we'll talk about long-term care portals, challenges and benefits of having those portals. Then we'll turn over to Vamsi, who'll lead the demonstration. Then we'll circle back and try to answer any questions that you all might have. Dunn Solutions is a digital commerce and business transformation consultancy focused on delivering velocity to our clients. Velocity is achieved by the combination of both speed and direction. Dunn Solutions helps our clients achieve speed by automating business processes and direction using advanced analytics. We were founded in 1988, servicing clients across vertical and across various sizes. Our headquarters is just outside of Chicago, and we have offices in Minneapolis and Raleigh, and an offshore location in Bangalore, India. We really concentrate in 2 practice areas, application development and analytics. In our app dev group, we do portal technologies and implementations, e-commerce and content managed websites, mobile app development, custom app development, and SEO work as well. On the analytics side, we do everything analytics. So that's the traditional data warehouse and data integration to more cloud-based data warehouses, e-commerce analytics, data lakes, Internet of Things, predictive analytics, machine learning, and then we wrap all of that with training. We want our clients to be self-sufficient when we complete the project. So we're a certified SAP, LifeRate, and Microsoft training partner offering classroom, on-site, computer-based, and virtual training. Excuse me. Now that that's over, I want to talk about long-term care portals and challenges and the benefits of those. But to kind of set the stage, I want to just talk about patient portals briefly. Patient portals have been on the rise with 87% of patients wanting electronic access to their health records. And patient portals provide a way for healthcare providers to deliver those health records to their patients in a secure manner. Primary care is seeing greater competition in today's market, as in your market, and increasing convenience for patients through a portal is becoming a basic requirement as part of a wider strategy to not be overtaken in the competitive environment. And lastly, with the consolidation in the healthcare space, there are disparate EHRs that need to be accessed. How does that all fit in long-term care? Well, let's define the family portal first. The family portal is designed to allow interaction with caregivers and family in real time. This could include access to the patient's schedules, names of the caregivers, plan of care, visit records, and so much more. This allows true transparency and instant access to information specific to the patient and the family. As adoption of EHR continues to rise in long-term care, the same drivers are compelling long-term care facilities to implement patient and family portals as well. Those drivers include changing consumer expectations for the patient and the family. They both need access to private health records, as an example. A key to improving care in long-term care facilities is the need for good communication with family members and those who are responsible for the individual in the facility. There are administrative efficiencies that providers are trying to drive to. That might be providing a better way to complete forms or to schedule appointments or provide contracts or answer frequently asked questions. There's also billing and account maintenance efficiencies that are driving the need. And another big one is medication management and compliance of that medication given and pharmacy access. Drivers also include providers wishing to create an environment that is conducive to the situation of the patient and family and meets their specific needs. As well, it is a very competitive environment. So providers want to be a provider of choice and differentiate themselves from all the other competitors out there. Providers need to provide relevant information and content specific to the patient and the family. And I think we can all agree on the last one. Everyone wants to maximize quality of life. Let me give you a recent example. Probably in the last 60 days, I experienced this firsthand. I had a family member that was in home hospice care. There was a disconnect between the hospice provider and the doctor in terms of medication, how to manage that. The patient started off receiving a patch level of 25. And the instructions were every 72 hours you could switch it. Well, it became very evident very quickly that that wasn't enough, but we didn't know what other options we had. Can we put a second patch on? Are there other patches? Oh, come to find out, yeah, there's a patch for 100. Well, he doesn't really need 100, he only needs 50. Can I cut the 100? Can I put 2 25s on? We couldn't get those questions answered. And then we also had to manage his sleep. He wasn't sleeping at night from the pain. So we got some sleep medication, had a severe reaction to that, and he was out of his head. Extreme paranoia. And again, bottom line is we couldn't reach the hospice provider, we couldn't reach the nurse, we couldn't get answers to the questions we had. And as a result, there was additional pain and suffering that he didn't need to incur. And so we ultimately changed hospice provider. So if we had a portal to go to get some of these questions answered or to communicate directly with a hospice provider or a nurse, I think it would have made a significant difference in his quality of life. So benefits of a family patient portal in long-term care. Well, for the family members, they can exchange secure email with their family members and healthcare teams. They could web conference with their family member or the patient, see lab results, check benefits and coverage, update contact information, make payments, download and complete forms, view relevant educational materials or content, including videos. As an example, if a caregiver needs to change out an oxygen tank, wouldn't it be nice to have a video to show them how to do that? And oh, by the way, if they viewed it on the portal site, now there's an electronic record that they viewed that video. So from a liability perspective, it helps reduce that risk. Family members want to be able to post pictures or videos or notes to the patient and engage them in the family. All this results in improved patient safety, quality and availability of care, and improved quality of life. Additionally, patients also receive benefits, not just the family, some of the same benefits, but some additional ones. They can exchange secure email with their healthcare teams, request prescription refills, schedule non-urgent appointments, or e-visits. So in my example or my experience, it really would have been nice to be able to do an e-visit with a nurse and talk through this issue that we were having. Download and complete forms, view educational materials, interact with their loved ones. As an example, the patient could receive automated feeds from social media like Facebook and Snapchat of family activities and stay engaged with their family. Again, this all results in improved patient safety, quality, and availability of care, and improved quality of life. Bottom line, patients and families want a personalized experience. They want to see content that is relevant to their healthcare needs and offered content relevant to their past activities and demographics. Content personalization speaks directly to the patient's interests and needs, which provide increased patient retention and higher average patient pay yield and improves quality of life. Patients and their families want better care, better communications, and transparency. But what about the provider? Providers want to maximize and track quality of care provided to their patients. Providers want to minimize risk and liability. Providers want to deliver on maximizing quality of life. Providers want to tailor content based on user behavior and demographics, whether that be to the patient or the family. Providers want to offer administrative efficiencies to their patients and families. And ultimately, providers want to keep heads in the beds. Portals can allow secure access to critical information wherever and whenever you need it. A provider portal provides direct connection for up-to-date information like eligibility, member ID cards, claims inquiry, remittance advices, authorization submissions, resource library. May they provide resources directly related to the condition that the family and the patient are dealing with. Benefits, view claim status, and request adjustments. Provider portals also support features like providing manuals and newsletters and authorization guides, communications and links to pharmacy. I'll give you another example. Let's say you bring on new staff, and that staff needs to be trained on their in-service modules, or somebody gets written up on a particular violation and need to retrain on an in-service module. That portal can be the link to that. Workflows and secure messages. And providers can leverage technology to enable their patients and families to help improve quality of life. Another couple of examples. Let's say you're a nursing home and you've decided that every patient in that nursing home will receive a Fitbit. Why you say a Fitbit? Well, you can manage or monitor their sleep activities with that Fitbit. So based on that data that comes from that tracking of that Fitbit for each patient, you can take action based on sleep patterns and the needs of those patients. Let me give you another example. Let's say you want to provide the ability for a family member to order a book or flowers, or arrange for a petted dog to come and visit the patient, your family member. wouldn't it be great to be able to be a provider and provide that capability through that family portal? Well, those were some of the long-term care challenges and benefits that I wanted to talk about. I'm going to turn it over to Vamsi now to get into the demonstration. And while he's ramping that up, I'm just going to say a couple items. This demonstration is based on some requirements that some of our customers wanted. So what I want you to keep in mind is keep an open mind in that think outside of the box, and this can be very customized to your environment. So as you're thinking and as you're watching the demo and thinking about how it might apply in your facility or in your situation, maybe you'll come up with some ideas. Maybe we can talk about those at a later time. Go ahead, Vamsi.
All right, thank you, Jeff. So here is the demo of a nursing home that we created, as Jeff mentioned, based on a requirement of our clients. So the first thing that I would like to show you is the marketing side of the nursing home. See, here is a landing page where a user hits a URL and comes to this page, and they can learn more about the facility itself. It has different sections like about us, the services, and FAQs, and users can click on the read more buttons to go into more details about each one of these pages that are created. One thing I would like to highlight here is that this content that is being created on the portals, the text, the images, and everything, they can actually be managed by your marketing team without an involvement from the IT department. So your marketing team can really keep the portal or the website marketing pages up to date with, say that you have a new promotion going on. Let's say that there is something else that you want to communicate to the users or to the public, and your marketing team can basically just come in and use the editors that are available inside of the portal to update the content without any involvement whatsoever from the IT department. So the other section that we have on these public pages or on these marketing pages is a forum. A forum is basically a message board where the users can interact with each other. And the great thing about this forum is it contains both private and public categories and threads. So the public categories and threads are visible to everyone, and the private categories and threads can only be visible to your patients and the family members of the patients that are inside your facility, and not to everyone. One great advantage of having a public forum like this is while the facility still can moderate the forum, the SEO is really great. The search engine optimization is great on these forums because the answers that you get on forums from real people are going to really attract the Google or any of the search engine crawlers and mark your pages with higher ranking, so they come up sooner than these other facilities who don't use things like this. The FAQ section quickly allows you to answer any frequently asked questions. So users can basically look at each one of these questions and can just click on it to expand and read answers. The contact us section here will provide your users a simple and easy ability to reach out to your facility and ask any question they may have. So they don't have to call you. It doesn't have to happen right away. They can just ask their question here, and the facility staff can respond whenever they have time with all the details that are required, including if you have any marketing materials on the website, including links to those marketing materials that are already on the website. So it's really nice to have these marketing pages which will allow you to promote your facility online. Now, let me log in as a patient who is already in your facility. So I'm logging in as a user who already I think I typed it wrong. Okay, so now I'm logged in as a patient who is inside the facility. The first thing that I'm going to see is my home page. On the home page, I can see the latest. On the right-hand side here, I can see my latest lab results. So if there are any new lab results that came up, they'll automatically come here. And since portals are a very great way to integrate with different other platforms, a portal can integrate with an existing EMR or an existing electronic medical record that the patient have records in, and can easily get the data from the electronic medical records and show the data inside the portal. So the patient doesn't have to log into 100 different places to see what is going on. They can just simply log into one place and get all their information. So this section here about the lab results, they can easily look into each one of their lab results or click on this button to view all the lab results. And they can look into each one of these tests that are performed and can see that on a timeline basis on how they're responding to each one of these tests as they go along. And same with the documents. Let's say that there are any new documents that are uploaded by the doctor for these patients. They can easily see them right here. They can just click on view all documents to view all the documents, and they can even view the document itself without even downloading the document. So they just click on this, they go into the portal, it automatically generates previews for these documents, and they can completely view the document even without having to worry about downloading the document and reading it offline. If they want to do that, they can definitely do that as well. So coming on to the left-hand side of this homepage, you have this family photo album, which basically shows you the latest and greatest photos that are being uploaded to this portal by your family members, so you can keep in touch with the family members, and they can still provide you with the pictures that they've been taking recently. Just clicking on this view all photos will take you to the complete album, and at a glance it will tell you who are all the people who added these photos. And for each one of these photos there is a caption, and you can easily click on any one of the photo and it will take you to a full screen of the photo, and you can just go through each one of the photos in the full screen mode as well. Let me close it. So that's a way in how family members can share the recent updates with the patient while you are still in the facility. Let me go back to the homepage. And the other option on the homepage here is you can see these online family members, where you can see who is online, but I'll talk about that in a bit. The next section that I would like to talk about is this activity. As just mentioned, there are many gadgets out in the world that regular users always use it without a second thought, but we don't usually think about them in a family care or a nursing home kind of setting. One example of that is Fitbit. And as you can see, we can, using this portal, we can integrate with Fitbit and actually monitor what is happening with the patient real time, even get statistics about the patient for the past 7 days. So here you can see we're collecting the steps information, the heartbeat information, and sleep information about the patient. And at a glance, a patient can see how he's doing, their family members can look at how he's doing, and their doctors or providers can look at what is really going on, how much time this patient is sleeping. And the other advantage with portals is that once we have this information, if you look at this content that is right next to each one of these tabs, that is actually tailored. We can actually tailor the content based on your sleep pattern. Let's say that a patient is sleeping only a few hours a day with a lot of disturbances. We can get that data, and we can show them different type of content than a person who is getting a good night's sleep. And same with the heartbeat and steps. So we can actually tailor the content depending on the data that we get from the Fitbit. And we believe that this kind of gadgets can really be used in the nursing home facility to really improve the quality of life, and also gives a peace of mind for their family members and providers, where they can actually log in and see this kind of information, and it makes them feel a little comfortable with what is really going on. So the next section I'd like to talk about is this record sharing. A record sharing in the portal will allow the patients or the providers share the records of the patient with their family members. This can happen in about 2 ways. A patient is being registered into the nursing home facility, and the patient lets the nursing home facility know all the details about the family members that they would like to share their records with, and the provider or the facility itself will take care of adding those members as family members to that patient. Or we can also do it after the registration by just clicking on this button right here, and a patient or a nurse can enter the email address of the family member, and the family member will receive an email with a link to register into the portal, and as soon as they register, they can see the records of this patient. So this allows the patients to share their medical health records with the family member, so they can keep track of what is going on with the patient, and they can look into these updated documents, or if there is a complication that just came up, they will also be alerted of that, not just the patient. Going on to the next page here, the conversations page is a very light version of a newsfeed like in Facebook, where a patient can communicate with their family members. As you can see, it lists out all the family members that are associated with this specific patient. And in here, you can see that a patient can post a message either to everyone or to a specific person in their family. And vice versa with the family members too. Family members can post a message, they can post a picture, they can even post a video to the patient, and the patient can respond, and vice versa. The patient can post a picture of herself or himself from the facility into this, so that everybody in their family member get a notification of it and can actually see that. And it also has another little feature in here where it shows if there is any one of your family member that is online. So this user is online, and if I click, and that's why it shows like this green button right here saying that, a green icon right here saying that this user is online. And just by going into the tab, I can click on this start video sharing, and I can simply have a video conversation with that patient right there. Sorry about that. It's basically an echo because of we're doing a webinar with this video conference. But it's easy for the patient to just communicate with their family members if they're online, and they can actually have a conversation with them using this video conference solution. And they can simply close out of it right after they're done. So that's the conversation section. Let me go to the patient record section. Patient record section is a complete overview of a patient. It basically gives the latest and greatest physical information about the patient, along with any other allergies. So the physical information can include their height, their weight. They can see their weight, their BMI, their waist size, and blood pressure, and we can add more details. And these details can also be customized per patient. So we are showing the physical information about a patient depending on the type of condition they're in. So for some users, their blood pressure may not be as important, but their sugar levels are more important. So we can show that information for those type of patients. And similarly, based on the profile of the patient, we can choose which information gets shown here. And it also shows all the allergy information, the medical problems that this patient has, the medications, immunizations, and it also contains a medication schedule right here. So in any case, the family member has to take care of a patient, they can actually see this entire information. Or if there is a new doctor that came on to treat this patient, they can just go to this page to get a brief overview about this patient in just one single page. But it also helps the providers or the nursing home, the facility staff by providing the medical contacts and also the family contacts, so they can contact those people in case they have to. And the last page for the patient section on the patient side is this forum. As I said before, this forum is used to communicate within the facility itself, but also allows you to communicate with the public. So if you have people going through similar type of problems, they can create a thread here, and they can post the problems that they're going through, and other people can help them. If they're also going through the same type of problems, they can help them with what they have done, what have helped, what did not make any difference. So those kind of things, it basically allows another form of communication, not just within your family, but with the public and with the other patients in the facility, and also with the general public who can actually help them, or who can help them with any questions they may have. So that kind of concludes the patient side of what a patient can do when they're logged into this portal. So now I'm going to log out, and I'm going to log in as a family member. So as a family member, what I see in the same portal is completely different from what a patient is seeing. The reason is a family member looks for different types of information than a patient. So the advantage of that is, even though we're using the same portal, we can have different profiles or different roles or different types of users who come into the same page, who just use their credentials to log in and see different stuff based on who they are. So for a family member, like on the home page, you can just see the list of family members that you have access to, and you can look at your current balance, and you can look at the latest lab results and patient documents for that family member, and you can simply click on View Records to view this overall information about the patient for that specific patient. This is just the same page that we just showed you on the patient side of a family member also has access to it. Or they can click on this Send Message, and it will directly take you to the Conversations page, where in here you're only seeing messages that are posted by you, and you can share it, or the messages that are posted for everyone, and you can see if the patient is online, and if they are, you just click on that, and you can actually have a video conversation with the patient. It just needs that the patient also have to be logged into the portal, and as they're logged into the portal, you have an option to do a video conversation with the patient. Also, there is another option for all the family members that you have access to, is that impersonate user. Impersonate user basically allows you to impersonate the patient that is inside the portal. So as soon as you click that button, you will be taken to the view of the portal for what the patient sees. So this is exactly what a patient sees when they're logged in. As you can see here, now it says that I'm logged in. This is for Mary Roberts, which is the patient, and I can see exactly what a patient sees. This comes handy when a patient is having a problem on how to do something, and a family member can actually see what exactly the patient sees, and they can walk the patient through in terms of letting them know how to achieve a specific task, how to view the photos that you just posted, how to start a conversation, how to go into the conversation section and get started. But it also allows you to view exactly what the patient is seeing. Let's say that there is a new document. Let's say that there is new activity that's going on. Everything that a patient sees now, the family member also can see. The other sections on for a family side are, let me go into the photo album. Photo album is basically like the photo album that we showed on the patient side. It allows the family members to add images. As they add images, the patient can see the images on their side. The billing section here will allow you to look at all the bills that were paid for this patient, and you can look into setting up the auto pay options or e-billing options, and you can print a statement for a specific month. You can search for a specific statement that you've been looking for, and you can also look into what this auto pay is and the e-billing options are, and you can enroll in those options. So it's just an easy way for the family to be able to set up these payment plans and all that stuff. The conversation section is pretty much the same that we just discussed about. Scheduling a visit will allow you to look at the calendar of the patient. So this calendar is actually the calendar of the patient itself. So you will see if the patient has any appointments with the doctors. If they have any, you will see them here, and it will also allow you to schedule a visit. Let's say that you want to come on a specific date. You just click on the time, you enter the subject, you enter whatever you want to enter there, and you just save it, and the patient gets notified. That patient gets notified that you are visiting them at a specific time and the date, so that they know that you are planning on visiting. And this calendar will then be shared with all the family members, so the other family members can actually see that you are going to visit the patient at a specific time, and they can make their plans based on that. The next section is the patient record section. Again, as I said, this is the record section where you can see your family members' overall details, and the forum is pretty much the same as we discussed before. It allows you to react and post threads, create new threads, reply to any questions other family members are having of other patients. It basically allows you to create a community, an online community where you can interact with other people who are in the same position like you. With that, it actually concludes all the patient side and the family side that I want to talk about. So I'm going to turn it over to Jeff.
Right. Vamsi, thank you. I think that was a nice demonstration of the art of the possible. And I also think, I hope that the people on the webinar can start thinking about how they might leverage a portal to be a differentiator for their facility. As we talked earlier, it's very competitive. Go ahead, next slide. So just summarize benefits of family portals in long-term care. The benefits to the patient and the family: better quality of care, better communications, transparency, access to relevant content, and access to healthcare providers. Benefits to the provider: achieve some administrative efficiencies, improve the impact on patient safety, quality, and availability of care. To differentiate from their competitors, I think, is a huge one. And another huge one is to reduce risk and liability. So again, I appreciate everybody's time today. I appreciate Vamsi taking us through that demo. If there's any questions, feel free to go ahead and submit those. Again, my name is Jeff Goffney, Director of Sales. Vamsi Kosaru is Project Manager. And again, contact Dunn Solutions to discuss your portal needs. I see one question has come up. I'll just read it, and Vamsi, I'll let you take the first crack at it.
Sure.
We have multiple facilities, each with a unique branding. Can your portal support that?
Yes, it's a good question. So basically, with portals, it can support multiple sites, and each site can have its own branding. We can just create a template for a site, and if you have a new facility coming in, you can just, with one click, you can create the exact same site that you're using for your other facilities for this new facility, and then go ahead, change all the branding and the content on those for this new site that you have created. So it is supported, and each, like if you want to have each of these sites to have different URLs to point to, you can even have different URLs pointing to different sites. Even though it's the same portal and same server it's running in, it can support multiple sites and different content on each one of these sites and different branding. Yes.
Okay, good. And correct me if I'm wrong, Vamsi, you had also mentioned earlier that a lot of this stuff could be done without IT help. So that same thing apply?
Yes, it does. So once you have these templates, it's really easy for you to, with just one click, create a new site, and it automatically creates all the pages, the permissions, and different roles that are needed for that site. And all at that point you need is to go in and add content or modify content and branding as you need it.
Okay, good, thanks. There's another question. You had talked about in the webinar, sending messages out to potential staff members. Can those messages be sent to staff out in the field?
Yes. So as long as they have access to the portals can completely be responsive and can be accessed on your mobile phones, tablets, or desktop browsers. So as long as they have internet connection, they can log in and they can see the messages, and you can send messages to whoever you want to in the portal.
Oh, good. I don't think there are any other questions. So again, I want to thank everybody's time, and we look forward to you guys attending the next webinar. Thank you.
Thank you all for joining us today. Look forward to seeing you in the future. Thank you, Fonzie and Jeff, for your presentation.
Thank you.